Hey everyone! Today we're making Christmas table runners? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. Today we're making Christmas table runners out of felt fabric, and my sister Lauren is here to help out.
Hi everyone!
And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make a pink table runner with retro Christmas shapes using some stencils you can get on my site. I'll link to that below. And Lauren is making a mouse-themed table runner in black and red for her Disney-inspired Christmas that she does every year. So we're gonna start by cutting out the table runner shapes. And I like to use a template. Like basically I just use a table runner that I already like the size of. So this is the Catherine Home table runner I did last year. So I'll use that as a template. Also, you can either sew the shapes on or glue them on. So here's kind of how it looks if you sew them. And here's an example. I glued this earlier and it looks really good. If you hot glue, that's another option. So you can do sew or no sew, and it's really easy working with felt. Okay, we're gonna start by cutting Lauren's red table runner out, and she's just gonna use a pencil to draw around this template and then cut that out. Joann Fabrics has this felt fabric that is 6 feet wide, which is perfect. Then you don't have to get a ton to get the length of the table runner. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna start cutting out my Christmas shaped stencils.
Tara's fixing my mistakes.
That's what big sisters do. So our table runners are about 6 feet long by 12.5 to 13 inches, but you can try different sizes and see what works best for your table. I like about 10 to 12 inches hanging off the sides of the table. I think that looks nice and you can still sit underneath that. So now that we have our table runners cut, we can move on to cutting the shapes to place on the table runners. So I cut out a few retro ornaments and a tree and maybe a little retro star shape and boomerang, and I like the little snowman. These are similar to the stencils I used last year in my retro stocking video, but I made them bigger because I think that'll look a little better for the table runner. And Lauren...
And I cut out a mouse and a bow.
No reason, right? For nothing in particular, just, you know, inspired by a certain place with charming mice. So she's gonna have her red table runner with black mice, and then
I'm gonna do a sparkle maroonish red bow.
Yeah. You got any good jokes?
No.
Good one. Aww, show the camera. Little red bow.
How does it look with the bow?
Oh, really cute. Alright, so there's what one of the little ornaments looks like compared to the stencil. And we're just going to keep tracing and cutting out all our shapes till we can fill out our table runners and then start sewing them down or gluing. We got all of our shapes cut, and I told Lauren if you do random pattern of shapes, then it makes it a lot easier because you can't go wrong. But if you try to be symmetrical, it's kind of a pain because if anything's slightly off, you'll be able to tell. But she went ahead and decided she's gonna do symmetrical.
No.
So it's really cute here though.
Still deciding.
She's lining up all of her mice. Okay, so Lauren got all of her little mice arranged how she wants them. We used 2 pins in case they pop out, so while she's sewing to try hold them in place. And she's gonna sew the mice first and then add the bows after and sew those down last. and then she'll be all done.
This is my first time sewing.
Yep. Okay, now you can start curving it around. Aww. So Lauren finished sewing all her little mice on. And pretty cool for her first time using a sewing machine. We did a couple test runs before, but this is her first thing she's ever sewn?
Yeah.
Sewn.
They turned out pretty good. I think there's a few outliers, but we'll get that fixed sometime.
No, it looks really good. I'm gonna make a really cool Disney-inspired Christmas table runner. And I got all my little retro ornaments pinned in place. So I'll just start sewing all these on, and then Lauren's gonna add her bows. You might want to start by flipping it over, do around the border, and a little in the middle, and then
We got the Gorilla version. Gorilla glue.
It's working great.
Press it down real good.
Yeah.
Ah.
Nah. If you get any glue on there, you can usually pick it off, or you can use a blow dryer to kind of melt it again and remove it. All done and ready for her Disney-inspired Christmas. So she did a combination of sewing the mice on and then hot gluing the bows, and it looks really good. So either way, if you want to sew or hot glue, they both look really nice. Like if you want the seam and the thread looks nice, but then also the hot glue can give you kind of a seamless look. But just be careful if you hot glue not to put anything too hot on this, and also don't wash it or just like spot clean it. Be careful about that, but it looks adorable. We're almost done with our table runners. They just need to be ironed. Now with felt fabric, you have to be really careful with ironing. If the iron is too hot, it can kind of melt and shrink up the fabric. So I just put it on a very low synthetic fabric setting, and just maybe even test it on a scrap piece of fabric before you start. But I'm just gonna lightly iron this and get out some of these wrinkles.
Well, everyone, that's how you make a Christmas table runner. Please like and subscribe to our channel.
Oh, it's our channel now?
Of course.
Lauren's taking over the channel. I want to say thanks to my sister Lauren for helping out with this video and coming up with a cool table runner idea. And we'll have to have her back sometime soon.
Please like and subscribe and ring that bell.